All right. Okay, so today we are talking about covert narcissists or empaths, the hidden truth. All right, so I want to talk about why some covert narcissists believe that they are, in fact, empaths. And can a covert narcissist really, how do they really believe that they're an empath? Or is this just a way to manipulate?
Welcome to our channel. I'm Rain, with over 20 years of experience as an NLP practitioner, light worker, and channeler through divine inspiration. Here to help you connect with your true self.
And I'm Mel, an empath, light worker, and connector, passionate about guiding you to set boundaries and thrive.
Together, we bring you weekly tools and insights to support your empath journey.
If you're ready to deepen your connection with self, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Let's dive in. So I have some people very close to me that do, in fact, feel like they are empaths, and they are not. They are, in fact, covert narcissists. And they really believe that they're empaths. But I don't know if they even really know much about empaths, like, because they don't, covert narcissists, they're not ones to study anything like this or read about it or anything. So I think it's just maybe overhearing stuff that I say about myself because I'm, in fact, an empath. So is it they're just like seeing something that I do and like, oh, yeah, I have that too, and like thinking it's the same? But anyway, so Rain, I want to ask you, why do some covert narcissists really feel like they are empaths?
It's so interesting because covert narcissists believe they're empaths because they think empathy means victimhood. So covert narcs are really good at being victims of their life. They're very good at believing themselves to be victims of the world. So when they think of empathy to them, it translates to them as, oh, I'm a victim of life, right? Just like you. Why? Oh, because the world has perceived the definition of empath is I feel so much, right? I feel so much, so my life is hell. So a lot of what has been taught to empaths about empaths is you are a victim of other people's emotions, right? And the language that has been used for empaths is um, only care about yourself, think of yourself, put everyone else's energies away, blah, blah, blah. Now, why do covert narcissists then believe that they're empaths? Simply because, yes, they are a victim of themselves. Yes, they are a victim of others. They are a victim of their life. This is what they perceive. No, they don't take anyone else's energy on. They don't feel other people's energies, but they don't know what that even means, right? So they only take the definition of I'm a victim of life. Life doesn't think. I am sad. I am empathetic towards myself. I am sensitive towards myself. Therefore, everything you say that makes me feel less about who I am and hurts me, right? And makes me want to like slap you silly right now or vengeance, that to me means I'm empathetic, right? So they don't get the gist, the understanding. And yes, there are the gurus and the spiritual teachers or whoever it is that know what empathy is, but they've never tasted it. They haven't ever experienced feeling for someone else other than themselves. So they become, you'll notice a lot of covert narcissists and narcissists in general are very sensitive, right? But they're only sensitive about themselves, right? And it's always everybody's fault why they feel the way. Now, okay, a lot of people are going to be like, well, empaths do the same thing. Like we're always blaming the narcissist or the energies outside of us that are causing us this, right? But there's a slight difference. And that slight difference is that we don't go out there to vengeance, to discard, to give the silent treatment, to avenge ourselves from the people that caused us pain and humiliate them and cause them pain in return for what they've done to us. We sit and self-reflect. That's the difference. So is it making sense, like the difference
Yeah.
and why they think they are?
Yeah. And so they're really not using it to manipulate. They really just don't understand what it means. They just hear us empaths that have a deep feeling and we say for others and they just think, oh, because they feel deeply pain for themselves. And if they're not put on a pedestal, that's what they're feeling. Is that right?
Yes. So in that sense, they think they're empaths. Remember, narcissists are just mimickers. They mimic, they mimic everything. They don't feel through things. They just mimic. Everyone's saying empaths are like this. Oh, I can mimic that, right? I can mimic this. This is so normal. Of course. Now I'll get it. So yeah, they don't, it doesn't make sense to them. It's in their heads, right? It's like illogical. Like, what would you mean feel somebody else and empathize with them? Like, I'm so sensitive. Like, if you tell me, if you use this tone or this word, it hurts my feeling. Of course, I'm empathetic, because it's hurting my feelings, but you are irrelevant.
Is there like a switch or something that's off where they're really like not capable of, they're just not capable of feeling it? They've never had that experience or don't remember that experience. So their brain is like, this is all that I know. They don't even understand how someone else can feel deeply for others. Like they're just like, I don't even know what that means. I don't even, I can't do that. That part's broken in me. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, that part doesn't exist. So there's a part of the brain, okay, that it happens at the very young age, like age of 3, 4, 5, something where a deep shame, they got shamed so deeply at that age about something they've done. It could be a simple thing like um, you know, they were playing with Play-Doh, and then the Play-Doh got stuck in their nail and then the parent is like, how dare you, or something like that, that the shame was so intense that the empathy to feel with anyone, that neuron stopped connecting. So it doesn't exist in their system. I
Wow.
actually have it like in details in my workshop, like the detail of what actually happens with them. But it's something that clicks and it cannot function anymore. The shame is so much larger than having any kind of empathy that it overrides that possibility, right? And they can't see it anymore. So their shame is more important. And they can never look at it. Like just think about it. When we first started the journey of like self-reflection, how hard was it to sit with I don't matter, right? Just the word I don't matter. Like how much work did we have to do to be able to allow ourselves, even as empaths, to even look at that version of us? And until today, we're still struggling on how to like be kind to it, right? So imagine a narcissist who there's no way in hell they'll even contemplate the notion that they don't matter. That's not even contemplation. They cannot go there. They will implode.
Wow.
That's what they believe. They're going to break into smithereens.
Wow. Okay. Ooh, that's a hard pill to swallow, especially as empaths, at least for me, that have just felt like, no, they just, oh, they came from trauma and sad and they just need to be loved enough or whatever. And then I've come to find out that with the people closest to me that it doesn't matter how much I give, how much I love, how much I do everything, how much, whatever. It's just, like you said, I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, like I've been slowing down, stepping back to look at some of these relationships closest to me. And I'm like, oh, they've never been showing up. I've been lying to myself, pretending like I wanted that. I wanted this in this relationship. And, like, anyway, it's wow, it's a lot to look at with that. But we just got to realize there's some people you just have to cut off in your life and realize they're not going to come back, and to find the other people that can match your energy and just give you that light and love and acceptance that you've wanted. Ooh, okay. All right. Here's another question for you. So, I want to know, how can we tell if someone is a covert narcissist disguising themselves as an empath? Like, how do you tell if they're
Oh,
disguising? Because it's so subtle and sneaky.
it is very subtle and very sneaky and so hard to pinpoint because empaths in general don't like to hurt anyone's feelings. Okay. Don't like to judge anyone. And because we doubt our intuition so intensely, we have settled with logical interpretation, right? This feels safer, okay, than this. So when you meet a covert narcissist and they share their sad story, first of all, they listen to you so they know where you're at in your sad story so that they can mimic it or have a similar experience with the similar words, right? So they will mimic that in return. And because you are filled with empathy, you reach out to anyone that's feeling bad about themselves, sad about themselves. Now you're going to think they're empathetic because the stories they share are very similar to yours, right? Similar to other hurt people. Now, the difference here is that it won't be from the first time you meet them. Now, if you've been through a lot of narcissistic relationships and you've experienced it and everything, you're going to notice what's more important is you're going to notice there's something that happens in your body. You're going to start to trust your body more when it speaks to you. Just from the get-go, you're going to see them once, see them twice. You're going to hear their stories. You're going to do the empathy. But at some point, they don't get any better. Their life doesn't change. The problem it doesn't evolve into anything else. Their drama continues. It's just a dramatic story, right? So female or male, it's a drama story, right? But then somehow in their drama story, they are the hero. They're always the hero, even in their drama story, right? Okay, and this might just get everybody a bit riled up because we all are the heroes of our stories, right? But when you meet a true empath, that true empath wants to get out of their drama. They truly want it. Like you can feel that they're like, they want to take any nugget and they want to run with it, right? They don't want to keep repeating and perpetuating the same exact drama to keep you hooked into their energy all the time, you giving, and being there, right? So there's a difference. You will feel it like you'll give advice or have an opinion or be there for that empath. But the next time you meet them, they've done something about it, right? They've reflected. They will also thank you. So thank you for what you showed. Like there's an narcissists don't appreciate your wisdom or your insights or your help. Okay. So no matter how much time and energy you spend, helping them feel better, doing this, taking over everything to make them feel better, like, oh, poor thing, they had a hard day at work, all the excuses for bad behaviors, right? And you might spend hours, being there for them, catering for them, taking over part of whatever their work or their duties or whatever so that they can feel better. You won't get an appreciation for it, right? You won't get, oh my God, that thing you told me, it really clicked and it really helped me and I feel kind of better. That kind of phrasing doesn't come your way. The acknowledgement of your wisdom, that your wisdom helped them, doesn't come. An empath will always acknowledge what you have gifted them as a gift of your time and your effort. This is the most important key that you will notice. This you will notice from the very beginning. They can say, thank you for this gift. Thank you for the phone. Thank you for stuff like that. But thank you for the energy and the heart you've offered is not something you actually receive. Wow. So this I heard for the first time ever, and it's so true.
Oh, wow. So this is going to be a fun one when we're in relationships. So for everyone that's listening right now, when you're in relationships, start slowing down. This is what I've been doing. And I'm like, relationships are showing up a lot differently than I thought because I was putting so much energy. I was gluing so many different relationships together. And then some that I wasn't, I could just naturally be me. So once you start slowing down and just being quieter and like observing and watching the relationship to see what's actually showing up, this is a really great thing. I'm glad you said that to pay attention to. Yeah. Is it just the physical? Are they only capable of commenting on the physical aspects? Oh, you did so good. Oh, you worked so hard on all of these things. Oh, wow. And that's what you get praised for is just all the physical, like how you're doing things for them to make their life easier? Or is it, how you show up emotionally? Like, are you being acknowledged is there any emotional relationship or connection there? So, wow.
Yes, because what's interesting is the fact that the time we spend as empaths giving our energy to help someone feel better, this is our heart. It's the gift of all gifts. We know that we're offering someone, right? Our time and our energy to make them feel better, right? It's not that, oh, I shoveled the snow for you. That's of course, thank you, right? But that's an obvious thank you. But the real thanks that you won't hear from a covert narcissist is giving you It's like giving you it's uh, telling you what you told me, what you shared with me helped me feel better, and therefore now I'm here. Right? Praising, like having the ability to speak without any shame, because remember, they're filled with shame, right? Without any shame that they are less than you, right? Because it'll make them feel less than you if they even make you acknowledge that, hey, you sitting with me for that hour, 2 hours, you taking this over, you being there for me, you saying the thing, you making me feel better today, you giving me this nugget of wisdom. Thank you. It helped me better here. It made me feel better. What happens there? It kills their ego because now they're admitting in their crazy mind that you are better than me because you had wisdom I didn't have, which can crush them. So it comes in the finest of details, which is effort and time of an empath offering that gift.
And this is stuff that's really important to pay attention to, because that's the thing. Overt narcissists, it's easier to see. Like they're just out there. It's everything. It's this. It's like, like it's easy to see when you know what it is. The covert is so sneaky because it really is like, wait, is that real or is it not? Like, and then you have to start really, like, as an empath, like trust your intuition, not outsource your power, like start trusting yourself again and your feelings, which a lot of times, at least for me, I would dissociate or disconnect from that. I would believe everybody else over me. And so as I've been coming back to self, it's like really, yeah, it's just paying attention to these little things. It's like, oh, it's so sneaky. So, oh, anyway,
Yes,
that's
yes.
icky.
And another way to see it. So I'm going to throw a few things out there just so that, sometimes we don't see the thing, but we might see this one instead. So um, when you are sharing your truth with covert narcissist who is pretending to be an empath, okay, it's so important to tap into, do I feel that they really feel me? Okay? Because you're going to get the typical mantras and you're going to feel them as empty, which is, the typical spiritual words. Now, if they're diving into spirituality and trying to be the spiritual guru for you, they'll be like, it's all in the inner work. Oh, you sit with yourself. Like you'll notice they're just using the language, but it's void and empty, right? It doesn't take you far. It's of no service, honestly, to you. It's just throwing you with these mantras, and you're like, wow, look at them. They're amazing. They know how to say all the right things. Covert narcissists are very good with words. They're terrible with feelings. So you will get all the right words, right? It's like a book is talking to you, right? But you will get none of the feelings. They will say all the right things. You will think that they get it, right? So it's very important to also pay attention to, I said the thing and I shared the thing and they told me the thing. Okay. Next time I see them, what are they doing? How are they reacting? Like a normal person, not even an empath, just a normal person would be like, from last time we spoke, how are you feeling today? This doesn't have to happen all the time, but someone's invested in how you're doing, right? There's a follow-up, let's say. So that's another
Yeah.
nugget to pay attention to.
And I've noticed too, like when I'm around these different people, I'm like, when I leave, it's like I really have to pay attention. Do I feel like fueled after being with this person? Do I feel better about myself? Do I feel higher energy and happy and good? Or do I feel depleted and drained? That's another thing to pay attention to.
Yes,
All
exactly.
right. So, how does a covert narcissist need for validation differ from an empath's genuine desire to help?
Okay, so when a covert narcissist needs to be validated, it's simply because um, it's not even validation. Their ego wants to be pumped up, right? If they don't get good job, oh, you're amazing. If you're going to notice, a lot of empaths with covert narcissists are usually over complimentary. Okay. It's like they've taught themselves how to over compliment someone, to over give in compliments, just because the consequences of not doing that subconsciously has been painful. This person has pulled away, right? So it becomes, oh my God, you took out the garbage. You're such a sweetheart. Look at you. You're amazing. What an angel. It's over exaggerated than a simple, oh my God, thank you, right? We do that because the consequence of that is they pull away their energy, they pull away their emotions, they get like a 5-year-old tantrumy, like all like, right? They didn't get like what you would do for a 5-year-old who you're teaching to take out the garbage. You'd be like, so proud of you. How does it feel? You have to do the same. You have to mimic the same for the covert narcissist, right? Because you have to keep building up their ego because it is terrifying to be around one that their ego hasn't been rubbed right by you. Okay. So it's not the validation that they need. They need the constant state of appraisal. You know, you are wonderful. You are amazing. Why? Because they hate themselves so much. Okay. They have such a hatred for themselves. Empaths, on the other hand, okay. So when a covert narcissist wants to help you, okay, wants to make you feel better, wants to do something for you, it is very calculated, okay, because it has nothing to do with you. It never has anything to do with you, and this is really hard to hear, okay. It only always ever has to do with them. So you have to think, what do they want in return? Okay. Do they want me to walk on eggshells? Do they want me to rub their ego? Do they want me to end up making that phone call? Do they want me to end up taking over the business? Do they want me to end up taking over the house? What is it that they want in return? Because it's never, ever, 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 ever done for the good of you. Okay. You basically don't exist. You only exist for them when they need something. So let's say you're sitting with a covert narcissist and you're having a heartfelt conversation with this person, and the only reason they're actually paying attention to you, right? Because they're not always paying attention to you when you want these conversations. Let's say they've decided to pay attention to you is because in their mind somewhere they're like, oh, if I don't pay attention now, B's not going to end up doing that thing that I want her to do because then she's going to go into that spiral thing. But right now I have this thing that's really important. So I need her to fix it. So I'm going to pay attention. There's always a calculated way, which is it's for my benefit now. If they tend to ignore you, they're ignoring you because it's really irrelevant. Putting effort right there, right now, is not going to give them anything in return. So they'd rather not. Empaths, on the other hand, it's a very different story. Empaths, they genuinely want to help, but they have no agenda. There is no agenda. If anything, their agenda is, I want to feel better about myself, that I've done something good for someone. Not saying that that is a good or a bad thing, right? There's no good or bad with that specific thing. It's just good for us to realize what the intention behind it is. So a lot of us serve and help and do all the stuff because we want also in return, appreciation. We don't want appraisal. We want appreciation for our efforts. But we genuinely are doing it not the only thing we want in return is appreciation for it or to be seen because of our trauma and our lack of, self-fulfillment. But it's never to harm someone or to manipulate them that I am giving you this. There's always a give and return, and you feel it in your body. You know it in your body. The only reason they're now listening to me, the only reason they're doing the thing I asked them to do, what do I have to give up? What do they really want? Now they don't even have to say it. With covert narcissism, they never have to say it because they do actions more than anything, right? If one time you want to sit and have a conversation with them and they finally bestow upon you the honor of having their energy with your energy, right? Because you're so desperate now. So if they finally sit with you, it's because it's calculated. Oh, I will give her this right now because in return, she's going to do this. But he's not going to say, or she's not going to say what it is. You're going to already know because you've been very attuned, very manipulated and gaslighted that you already know if he sat and listened to me, I'm going to be such a good girl, right? I'm going to be so good. I'm going to be happy and spontaneous. I'm going to let him feel that he really made a difference in my world. And you're going to do all that. So his life becomes a lot easier. He can say, jump here, jump there. And you'll be like, yeah, of course. He sat and spoke to me. What a phenomenon, right? That's why they give it to you in droplets. That's why so the intention is very, very different. It doesn't mean that us empaths are doing it from a pure place either. We are still not doing it from a pure place. And this is why we're purging and clearing. We're still doing it from a place of like, well, did you just see how wonderful I am that I was of service to you? Like, but we want to uplift others. We don't want to crush them down to feel better than them. We want to uplift them, but as we uplift them, we want them to be like, oh, you uplifted me. Thank you. So we can feel better about them ourselves so we can start picking up the broken pieces. So there's still some clearing up for us to do, but for now it's cool that we still do this. But at least the intention isn't it's a one-on-one. There's a payback here. Is it making sense?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So you kind of just said it as just covert narcissists cannot experience true empathy. It's always self serving. That's just how they're wired.
Always.
And it's just admitting, and it's just having to swallow that pill of like, yep, sweet empath that wants to believe that everyone's amazing and can be, that we can heal the world and every single person. It's kind of just, no, it's the disconnect is gone. It's just, you got to say goodbye, more in the loss of the relationship. You know, it's usually someone close, a parent, a spouse, partner, friend, whatever, and work through that. So my question is, so narcissism comes up a lot in, like we're talking with empaths, that's what we're focusing on, is empaths, building them up, building you up to see the best version of you and all that good stuff. I'm curious, what percentage of empaths do you feel like end up falling in to a covert relationship or partnership? Is it, do you have any idea what the, if there's a high percentage of empaths get sucked in and that's because they were raised in, I don't know, I'm just curious.
Well, as in statistically, I can't really say like, I just I keep hearing like 60 to 70%, but I can't, that's what I'm hearing. But um, almost most empaths are experiencing that simply because the program of the earth for the past 2000 years, it's been programmed through covert narcissism, through fear, through walk on eggshells, through fear others. Yeah, just fear-based stuff, right? Everything we've been taught is fear-based. So it's not easy to be born into a family that doesn't have that program set in them, right? Fear-based, but you're coming in as an empath into a program, you're completely different, but you're coming into a program that everything's fear-based, right? So it's natural that you start to adopt this as your own program. If this is how everyone's living, then I must live the same, right? To coexist. And so naturally, a lot of empaths get into these relationships because a lot of covert narcissists, as crazy as it sounds, they would love to feel loved, right? But they also have the spark of source, right? It's just gone. They have no conscious awareness. It's gone. So this is their desire. And the best people to give it unconditionally until it becomes conditional are empaths. They're the easiest people to pull this energy from because we just can give, and then receive and give, and then receive. Like we're cool with that, right? But at some point, it's so much giving that we have nothing left to give, right? And now we're like, well, we gave you all of this. Can I receive now? And it's empty and hollow, and there's nothing coming back. So I do believe that a lot of empaths are in those dynamics of relationships. And it's really sad.
Yeah. That's why it's good to talk about this and open our eyes to really look at it and see what we need to do to take our power back so we don't get lost in it and completely steamrolled, because that's what happens. So, what are the red flags that someone's empathetic behavior is actually a manipulation tactic?
Oh, so many red flags. Okay. First red flag, drama never ends. Never. The drama never ends. You can turn blue with solutions. You can even actually, if the drama is, I don't have any friends, you can go out of your way and get them friends into their home. You can do all that, and the complaint will still be there. There's something else. There's always something else. It's the drama. That's a huge red flag. Like they never get out of victimhood, Never, ever, 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 ever. Like you can move them to an entirely new country with entirely new people, and they're still going to find a way to be completely and utterly devastated by life and poor me, and the drama has to happen. So this is the most obvious red flag. the most obvious red flag. If you're not an empath that's still in the program and you're slowly coming out of it, it's the easiest thing to see. You're like, this person never gets any better. They don't even care to. They don't want to. They just want to hear me talk and babble and be there and da 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 and take care of them. But it's the same thing on repeat. They're very repetitive. They're very boring species. They don't really evolve. They maintain the same way. We, because we're like so interested in depth in humans and making people feel better. So for us, it's very dynamic. But when you zoom out and really take a look at it, they're very same game, the same way they get upset is the same way they get upset. The same way they pretend to be happy is the same way crocodile tears. Great at crocodile tears. Okay. They don't really cry. Okay. These are crocodile tears. Okay. Ooh, this should make me cry. Tears. Ooh, right? There's such an act and you will feel the act, right? Because once you pull your energy away, when really tears should be coming, there's not an iota of a tear, right? It's very, very interesting dynamic. So red flag is the drama. Drama is the big drive. Another one, you'll feel it in your body if you're more attuned to your body, but not all of us are still like 100% attuned. We're all working on it, which is really cool. But you'll always feel like they have an attitude of entitlement. Okay. It doesn't have to be loud like an overt, but you'll sense this. There's I'm above you kind of feeling always. Like, I know more, I'm wiser, I'm better. Like there's this I'm entitled, right? Like, of course you're gonna do all the housework. Of course you are. Like it's non-negotiable where you stand and where I stand, right? It's an entitlement feeling, but you feel it in your body. You always feel less than that person for some reason, right? That's a feeling inside. So monitor your confidence, okay? Your self-assurance. Monitor that. When you monitor your self-assurance and how does it feel around this person, no matter how much they're playing the game, and you all of a sudden feel less than yourself, then there's something off there. Okay? Because they don't boost you. They don't boost you up. They cannot boost you more than, more than they're boosting themselves. You always have to be below. So these are some of the red flags.
All right. How do covert narcissists use their empathy identity to gain control in relationships?
Well, how else can you control another empath? How else can you get an empath to drop everyone in their lives, everything in their lives, drop their hobbies, drop their passions, drop their beliefs, drop their values, drop everything, other than if the person you've dropped everything for is suffering deeply and you're empathetically going to be there for them, right? So they have to have an empathy story. Right? They have to be, oh, I felt, I met this woman and she said this, and I had to go and I helped her, because I think women are very important. Like you have to help these women. Women are, and they'll say the words that they'll sense you. Are you a feminist? Do you feel women empowerment? Do you feel whatever? Like then they become that. Like, some people will say things like, yeah, I've left this religion because they were treating women really badly. It's such a lie, right? Because that's not of any value to them. Where did it serve them to leave that religion? Where did it serve them to leave that workshop? Where did it serve them to leave that company? Right? What's the truth behind it? So they have to do the empathy according to what matches your energy and your belief system so that you can go there with them. You think, oh, perfect friend, perfect partner, perfect colleague. We get along. We have the same conversations, right? We have the same values. And then you drop everything. With covert narcissists, always know, and even with overt, but you as an empath, you will drop the world. You will even drop yourself to be of benefit and value to them. Why this happens, I don't know. It's just so much lack of self-assurance. Okay. And we see them as confident and self-assured. So we drop everything because we believe they will make us feel better. So this is kind of why they dress up as an empath, why that is the only way they can control a relationship with an empath. You are there for them. There's the love bombing phase at the very beginning where they're there with you and they get you and they laugh and they're everything you've ever wanted. right? And they give you everything. They pour you with it, that you're like overwhelmed with the wonder of it. Like, this human can actually exist. Everything I've ever dreamt of just exists. They're here. Wow, fantastic, amazing. Right? That's the love bombing phase. And then once that's done, which it goes a step at a time, right? It doesn't just get blown away. So one step at a time, not all that attention, not all that much listening, not all that much. And now you're giving more than you were actually receiving, right? So now you're giving, and then it just balances out completely and you're just in it. And now you're confused as hell, right? Because you're trying to bring back that person in that relationship that it was, right? How else can they get you? We only understand empathy, right? We only understand, like, oh my God, like, I want to pour unconditional love. I want to make this person happy. This is what we understand. How else will they get to you? They can't.
Ugh, it's so manipulative and icky. Like I'm like squirming in my body. I'm like, ew, it's so ew. It's just ew. I don't like it. I don't like playing with these humans. Um, okay, I want to remind you all listening that Rain is going to give us an angel card at the end. So we want you to stick through to the end. We've got a few more incredible questions. This is a good topic. So this is probably going to go a little bit longer because this is just freaking amazing. And it's so good of stuff we need to like understand and fully understand. So, but just stick with us. Hope you're loving this, getting so much out of it like I am. And then we have a gift for you at the end to help you through your day and your week to support you. So another gift of Rain. Okay, so I have another good question. What happens when a true empath gets entangled with a covert narcissist?
Hell.
There it is.
Absolute hell. When an empath gets entangled with a covert narcissist, you completely lose yourself. That's it. Gone. Finished. Delete. It's like somebody hit the delete button, right? And if you look at like those sci-fi movies, like, or magical movies, when somebody like is deleting someone and they kind of pixel away and they slowly vanish into nothingness, that's basically what happens to an empath who's entangled with a covert narcissist. Why? It's because covert narcissist is so devious and so manipulative and so hard to see, that the neurons in your mind have been so rewired so intensely that you are only seeing life through their eyes because you don't exist anymore. That's it. You've embodied them as they're your eyes, they're your rock, they're your stability, they're everything. No one else exists but them. And it's true. They're the only ones who can exist because you cease to exist, right? So when a true empath is entangled, you're constantly in saving mode. And how delightful for an empath to constantly be saving the ones they love, right? This is like a delightful, delicious, constant platter that never gets solved, right? I'm constantly entangled in my family or in a partner or in a friendship. I'm always pulling them out. I'm always helping them. You feel like a hero. You feel good about yourself because you feel like you're doing something worthy, right? You're giving someone a better world. You're helping them feel better about who they are. You want to give them happiness. Of course, you're entangled. You've lost you. You've lost all purpose. You've lost all values. You've lost everything. And they're the only things left. It's so hard to let them go when all of you now is all of who they are. So that's what happens to an empath. You lose
Oh,
sight of who you are. Yeah.
intense. Okay. Is it even possible for a covert narcissist to heal and develop real empathy?
No, no. Empathy you're born with. It's not something you can learn. That's why when you talk to a covert narcissist and they pretend to be an empath, if you're not highly attuned to your empathetic abilities, which is feeling others, you will feel nothing when you're tapping in. So empathy is not a taught behavior. Compassion is taught. Empathy is not taught.
Okay, so it's good to know we live in a world where it's like some people are going to have good hearts and you're going to want to spend time with, and some there's just not. It's just cut and dry. That's just black and white, apparently. Okay. All
You
right.
can also deal with narcissists. I mean, narcissists are great when it comes to like working the program. Like, they are the program. they did that's why a lot of narcissists are so successful and everything. They are the program, they made the program. So if you need help with the program, they're the best people to go to. Be like, well, I don't know how to deal with this, or my friend told me this and she's narcissistic, and you have a narcissist friend, you go to that friend, you know not to attach, you know that you don't want to help them or heal them. You go to that friend and you be like, da, 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 and they'll be like, well, this is how you do the trick. They
Yeah.
will give you the codes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not necessarily people you have to be afraid of. You just have to be aware of how they show up in life. And they have their strengths, just like everyone does. It's not like oh, run away, scary. Oh my gosh, demon, they're going to kill me. Like, that's not what it is. It's just one, it just sounds like that's not someone you would want to have a partnership with. They are not a person to partner with. It's someone to have as like a friend. If you know that you're not going to get back much in return, they might have good stories. They might help you. They might be useful. They might hire you for business, whatever it is. So like we don't need to be afraid of anything. Look at it. But yeah, as for a relationship, if you want to experience true love and intimacy, you're not going to get it from this person. And that's the loss you're going to have to mourn if you go through that or choose
Yeah,
to
it's
lose that
interesting
person.
because they do know the loopholes. They know the loopholes in the program. So if you have a friend, a narcissistic friend, they don't have to be your best friend in the world. They're just a friend that and you know that they're a narcissist. Never fear them, and you're like, well, I'm don't know what to do about, I need a lawyer for this matter or whatever. I'm going to call that friend. They're going to figure it out for me. They're going to tell me the loopholes, right?
Yeah.
But as long as they know you have your energy for you, they will highly respect it. They will not try to get in as long as you don't allow them in. That's the problem with empaths. We allow them in because of our trauma or misconception of what true love looks like. So we're the ones who bring them in. But when you have a friend that you've decided, hey, that's cool. I know when to call this person, when not to,
Yeah.
right? They'll tell you the codes. They have the program codes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is useful. We need both of those in life. All the things. Okay. Why do some people struggle to tell the difference between a covert narcissist and a genuine empath?
Okay, I'm going to say this, but not to put anyone down. But an empowered empath can tell the difference easily between them, right? It doesn't mean they won't fall for it or feel less of themselves, all this feeling. It's a disempowered empath, which means um, someone who still doesn't trust themselves, let's say, or haven't honed into who they are, or are still like it's harder to detect because don't forget once your neurons have been like rewired to be submissive to the program, to be submissive to narcissists and gaslighting, there's so much rewiring to do, right? But the rewiring only starts with, okay, let me see when I'm around this person, how does my body react? Oh, it contracts, I lose my voice. Oh, interesting. Oh, so maybe my body's telling me that this energy isn't safe and there's a lot of gaslighting. Oh, so this is what my body reacts to, gaslighting. Great. Like you start to just monitor parts of you so that you do become that empowered empath where yeah, you can meet one, you feel that energy, and then you remind yourself, okay, narcissist, I get it. This is who I need to be in this energy. That's when you can figure it out. But a lot of times it's really hard. It's not easy. It needs a few times and a few outings and a few conversations. Like, do they take over the entire conversation? That's another one. Do they just take it over? And the minute you want to talk about something, do they lose complete interest? Beep, narc, watch out. How does it feel? Do you feel unheard or whatever? A lot of empaths are like, but I'm a great listener, including me, great listener. I just love to listen. I love to listen. But how much are you really listening and how much are you really giving? Right? There's a difference between listening and giving, right? You could be a great listener. Then with the listening, what are you giving? And what is this person taking from it? Right? Are they feeling satisfied? So yeah, it's not that easy.
Right. How does spirituality or self help culture sometimes enable covert narcissists to believe that they are empaths?
The spiritual and self-help industry, oh my goodness, is jam-packed with narcissists. It's jam-packed more than anything covert. Um, it's a huge gateway for them to come in, right? Think of all these fabulous empath souls that are waking up slowly. And they're like, oh, wait, I'm discovering something new. I'm like waking up thing. And then you've got like, it's like a fisherman who goes to the perfect spot, you know, in the ocean with his boat and his net. And he knows this is the spot. There are corals here. And these corals, these type of fish, and they has this net down there. So most people, most empaths who are waking up are swimming into the fish net. They're just standing there taking it in. Why? Because it's so easy to use the language. Because if you have been gaslighting yourself your whole life and you've been gaslit, words are super important to you because it's proof. So of course, you can use all these spiritual language. It's so easy to use spiritual. It's so easy for me to open a tarot deck and say whatever I want because it's so easy to be like, to pull out a tarot and be like, oh, conflict and despair. Okay, I am feeling now. What do empaths like to feel? They like to feel, oh, there's conflict and despair, but they're going to feel it out. I've gone through it too. Come to me. I will let you get out of this. I know the way. It's happened to me. Empath story, use an empath story, make it relatable. What does marketing teach? What does all this teach? Right? It teaches you have to be relatable. Look at where your niche is. Look at this. Target those people, right? Your target market. Who came up with target market? This is very interesting. Who came up with target market? Why are you targeting them? What do you need from them? Why isn't it just helping somebody and they're paying you in return, but you're not targeting specific people? Target market, narcissist, covert narcissist. Who do I want to get? Who are the ones that are so gaslit that it's so easy for me to tell them, oh, I've gone through all this pain myself. And now I am so happy. I have billions of dollars. I am the happiest person in the world. I figured it out. That is spiritual narcissism. Of course, this is the perfect gateway for them. This is heaven. They've got all these empaths, right? In hell, right? Wanting a savior because we always look for saviors. We want to feel better because mom did, or we want to feel better that dad did. We want to find the partner that will make us feel better because blah, blah, blah. Saviors have come. They are the saviors. What are they going to do? They're going to try to save you. They're going to try to make you feel better. And now what happens is empaths are in another trap. Exactly the same gaslighting. Even if they intuitively feel it, they will talk themselves out of it because they're like, no, but I still haven't trusted myself enough. I still don't know who I am. So they must be right. I must be wrong. So that is spiritual narcissism and the spiritual industry, because now it's like for everyone, you're welcome, come here. It's a beautiful, look at all these empaths that are ready to be manipulated. It's so easy to gaslight them. They've been part of the program. They've gone through so much pain. They gaslight themselves all day. Let's do whatever we want with them. Let's feel empowered and let me feel like a leader.
Mm. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Okay, have our eyes open. All right. Oops. My last question I have. What is the impact of a covert narcissist masking as an empath on real empaths and the people around them?
Well, then this starts to go into triangulation, right? And triangulation is where there's like a competition between people, right? There's like, for example, my ex really treated me really badly. She did this, this, and this. Da, 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 da. So now they're trying to tell you not to do that, right? Because this is their wound. So now you're like, oh, the ex is a bad person. But he's talking to the ex. You tell the ex, oh, my recent girlfriend, she's such high maintenance. I have to spend all this money on her, blah, 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 which he isn't, right? So she starts to be against her. So now he's had two people, they'll never speak ever, ever, ever. He has them two against each. It's a triangle, right? And he's in the middle. He's forcing this against this, right? This is what is happening with the people. And some of them are there's another term, it's called flying monkeys, like the Wizard of Oz, right? So there's the flying monkeys where in front of everybody, and this is what damages the empath, because all of a sudden they don't have friends or people that have their back, because the narcissist has been really sweet to family members, has gone out of their way and, I don't know, pick them up from the airport. I've heard this so many times from my other friends and clients, right? He goes and picks up my family from the airport, and he, this girl had a problem with her house, and he went and he helped her with the furniture. And so all these people, he's doing such great services for everyone. But when it comes to you, for some reason, it's not really anywhere close. It feels like that's when the energy goes. That's when, oh, I've done too much already. Something is wrong there, right? So it isolates the empath, right? And now when you're seeing everyone praising or like complimenting or seeing wonderful things about this person, you think you're going mad, right? So these are called flying monkeys. It's how to let you believe that whatever world you lived in before, whatever belief, is a big lie, and they are absolutely wonderful. And if you even doubt it for one moment, all you have to do is call up the parent that loves him, but now he doesn't love you as much, but call up the parent, call up the friend, ask around, and they'll all be like, oh, you're just, you're exaggerating a little bit. We all have the same problems, but he was really nice. I mean, look how he spends time with your friends. Look how much space he gives you when your friends come over. Da, 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 right? So now you have nowhere to go. So now you have to deny your truth, that intuition that's showing up. It's not only him, it's the collective working with that party, right? So covert narcissism doesn't only harm you, it cuts you off from all your reality and all the possibilities outside of that one person being the hero, perfect person, the wonderful human being that they're perceiving others to see them as. Is it making
Wow.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. This is intense. Okay. So, you beautiful empaths that are listening to this right now that can relate, that are in a relationship with a covert narcissist somewhere in your life. One, I'm sorry you're going through this. It is so hard. It's so sneaky. It's hard to admit when you've been lost in that and realize you've disappeared in some of these relationships. We are here for support all along the way. So we've provided some things. We have for you some gifts we have. You can go to our description. There's a link. We have a 3-minute daily ritual to help you check in with your energy, to see how you're doing that day on a daily basis, and to release any blocks that are holding you back. So you can come back to yourself and your inner peace, which is what all we want for you. If you love this episode and the information that we're putting out there, give us a thumbs up and let's be YouTube friends. We'd love to be friends. If you can be up to date on all of the episodes that we send out. And if you love what we're creating and the energy, what we're putting into this, we've created, it's called Cup of Love. It's a Buy Me a Coffee account. That's the website. We have a link for that as well. If you want to donate and help us grow what we're doing, we're in the middle of building a platform. We can bring all empaths together, women together to support one another, to build friendships, to create together. This beautiful vision that we're working on right now. We've been working on it all last year. We're hoping to launch it soon. Anyways, but you can support us on the way and be a part of our group as well. We also have a private Facebook group right now. That's our temporary landing place until we get our platform. So reach out, send us an email if you want to connect with us more one-on-one, and be friends with me and Rain and our other beautiful women we have in the group, our small, cozy little connection lounge, we call it. So we're having lots of fun here, lots of ways to connect if you're feeling and vibing with us. And then please comment below. We love your comments so much. So comment below how you're doing in your life, how this, your key takeaway from this video. And Rain's really good. A lot of times, she responds to every single comment. And if you have good comment or questions, she'll even do videos for you, like your own video just for you, if that's resonating. So there's just a lot of cool stuff that we do. Anyways, thank you for being here. We do have, Rain has an angel card that she's going to give for us, which is always fun to end on. So she's going to feel the energy and we're going to see what our focus word is. Right.
Oh, I like focus word. Okay, let's see what the angel divine guidance is. Ooh, I like it. Guess what, Mel? Expansiveness.
Oh,
That is the word. Expansiveness. Let's just look at that. Look at the clouds, and the clouds are the most thing that are striking out, and the expansiveness, it's a huge word, right? And all the clouds. So it's like going above it all, like not needing to limit yourself or box yourself into any kind of gaslighting at all. Like, can you go past it? Can you look at your life from a bird's point of view? Can you expand past all this trauma? Can you expand past all this and actually look at your life for what it really is and call it all out? Call it all out. Call yourself out. call them out, and expand past the narcissistic gaslighting that you're in. So I think this is a beautiful card for today. So I hope that was helpful.
Really is perfect. Oh, I love that. Okay, well, thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.